I remember being about 6 years old when my dad had taken me to the local GameStop in our area, and I believe I was offered the choice to grab two games exactly. And the two games I grabbed was, of course, Call of Duty games because I was, of course, a Call of Duty nerd at the time. I believe I had played Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 at the time, but of course, I needed to grab some more to feel my addiction. Of course, these grabs that I had grabbed were World at War and COD 4 Modern Warfare. Um, COD 4 Modern Warfare probably is my favorite game of all time and holds near and dear to my heart. Easily one of the best games of 2007, ranking in top 3, I believe, in sales, and easily was the game that started up Call of Duty um, into mainstream. It was amazing. Everything down from the art style, the soundtrack, the overall story, the feel of it, everything, anything that you can imagine. It was amazing at that. It really set the bar high for Call of Duty, and they kept setting the bar even higher to where they get to the point to where they're at now, where they are in, I guess, an identity midlife crisis or whatever is going on. But um, overall, this game means a lot to me, and it means a lot to a lot of people, which, I feel like it's really more than a game. It has a meaning. It has a place in a lot of people's hearts. And what Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare means to me is, I remember being a kid, and I remember being young. I didn't even have gold at the time, so I was playing single player. And I remember, coming home from school, about kindergarten, first grade, sometime around there. And, usually I would have a long, boring day of school. I usually got bullied or didn't really want to be there. I was kind of just bored, kind of just was a kid. And I would look forward to coming home every day and just playing pretty much the same mission that I had failed over and over again to hope that I would finally beat it. Um, Crazy to think now that I can, play all gillied up on veteran mode in one attempt, which is quite easy, but even then, back then, it took me a lot of tries to even do it on, like, regular, at least, like, stealthily, like, fully, like, on a gillied up, or, like, just not dying repeatedly on other missions and things like that. But, eventually I beat the game, but that's pretty much what it means to me, and it can mean something for a lot of other people, like, like coming home from high school and, like, ripping it with your buddies, like joining an Xbox Live party, or I think that was before they came out, so just talking in game chat. And then like, some people coming home from work and just hopping on for a few hours, just playing by yourself, or playing with a couple buddies from work, or your childhood friend that stayed long. That's what a lot of these games mean for people. And it's always cool to come back to these games and kind of, like, feel and see the memories, and, like, go online and see people reminiscing about, like, these games, because, like, they held a special place in people's hearts. Their art. That's why I collect physical copies anyways, even now. Like, it's art, and it holds value. And it's amazing to see that these games, like, even almost 20 years later, are still popular, still, like, loved. You can't populate the servers and make online active, but this game is going to be remembered in history, and so is just Call of Duty anyways. As far as they've gone from their original roots, I feel, to the uncreative, cluster shit that it is now. It's possible to, you look back, over a decade ago, and then it's like, how could you have thought this would have happened? But, I mean, some things are inevitable, but it it's truly amazing to see how this game is, like, stood the test of time and, like, not faded out of existence. Like, it's always gonna be easily one of the best Call of Duty games of all time. It's I don't think anyone has anything bad to say about this game. It's very complete, and you know, it's what a lot of the newer ones are filling. You know what I mean? Like back then, you could pay $50, $60 for a game, and it felt complete. Now you do it, and it's like, why do I even do that? So it's okay, I guess, that they put these CODs on Game Passes, but even then, you're playing them, and you're like, it's not. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like how Call of Duty should really feel like. I think the last COD I played I really enjoyed was Modern Warfare 2019, but even then, it didn't really grab my attention like these games did. Like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it. Like, it was just only for a brief moment, and it never really hooked me in, and I wasn't really the biggest fan of a lot of the movement stuff with the multiplayer and things, and just kind of the direction they were going. And obviously, they released 2 back-to-back, MW2 and 3, and then they're on Black Ops 7 now, so I don't know, the creativity has gone a little they seem to be milking franchises that IPs and just everything. They're just milking everything, like, trying to do fan service and put these different like packs in the game on multiplayer and just add all these different characters, and it's, I don't know, it ain't really hitting. In my opinion, this entire tank scene from this section of this mission clears the entire Black Ops 7. But moving on, it's just sad. I don't know. I could go on and ramble about it for hours, but it really feels like we lost a good one. We lost a soldier. We lost a fighter. This easily one of the best peaks I've seen a game have. It had one of the greatest 5-year stretches ever for back-to-back releases, and to go to like where it's at now, or even its original fan base doesn't fuck with it, it's kind of sad. It is pretty sad. This is the game I loved. This is the series I loved, and it just, it hits you right in the gut. It hits you right in the soft spot when you see that the series that you grew up with as a child and that you fell in love with is just like not really itself. It's just like, damn, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and you have no control over it, and that's fine. Like, things are gonna happen, things are gonna change, and that's okay. But like, when it just changes like this, it's like not even like recognizable. Like, you wouldn't have thought 10 years from now, Call of Duty would have pretty much been Fortnite. That's pretty much what it looks like, in my opinion. But nothing's wrong with Fortnite. Fortnite's its own game. Fortnite's not Call of Duty. I'm just kind of aggravated with that. I want this game. It's obviously been going through an identity crisis for a while now. They've tried a lot of ideas. A lot have worked, a lot have not. But I feel like they're just kind of forgetting what made them them, and that is, their core fan base, and they are just catering to a small percentage of players who are just giving them money and thinking that we're making the right decision. But it's obviously going to screw them over in the long run, and it has been. That's why fewer and fewer people have been buying and playing Call of Duty, and you can see in the numbers. I've seen many of them. I don't know if it's the player count spiked up recently, but the numbers have been a little low, and I don't know if they're going to take this and be like, oh yeah, let's actually do what we need to do, or they're just going to like just keep shitting the bed like they do every year. At this point, I mean, you might as well just stop making stop making annual releases. Maybe like a 3 to 4 year gap, 2 years at most. I mean, because at this point, it's just recycled bullshit, and I'm not even going to invest in it. I've not bought a single Call of Duty game since Modern Warfare 2019. I've not invested into another Call of Duty game since then, and just because eventually I got tired of it, but eventually it just really didn't capture what I have been really looking for. I thought 2019 would have done it, but it didn't hook me or grab me. Like the Spec Ops mode was definitely, disappointing. I feel like they could have done more with that. I don't know if they added anything to it, but when I played it, it was very bare bones. I think there was only one or some modes. Like it just was not like it was in the original Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Those Spec Ops modes were like fucking amazing, and it just didn't capture it. So, bare bones COD 4, as people would say, honestly, is way better than Black Ops 7, Modern Warfare 2019, or any Call of Duty. In these, anything past Black Ops 2, I don't even, like Ghost is okay, but Ghost is still shit. It's just everything else to me is just more shit. But that's like the better of the shit. But I'm still not gonna eat shit. So that's why I kind of stick to glazing the either like the first ever Call of Duty's made or the 5 peak ones, which is COD 4 to Black Ops 2, in my opinion. And you can put Black Ops 3 in there if you want, but the microtransactions was a bunch of shit. Like, that's, I mean, unethical. Like, it's just a bunch of gambling. Like, I don't really fuck with it. I never even bought stuff when I played it, but a lot of people did. I saw the videos, I saw the YouTube videos. I mean, you know what I mean? It just taking money from people, and I don't believe in that. I mean, you need to make a game, and if you're gonna spend your money, it's gotta be worth your buck. Money is valuable, and people don't care about the worth of a dollar. They just want that extra fucking dopamine boost when they buy a shitty Beavis and Butthead skin to play on their cracked ADHD Warzone map. You know what I mean? It's just we need the simplicity. We need the actual monetization, like I guess the bundles and skins that maybe make sense and are for the game. Maybe, like, I don't know, like it just, everything's expensive. Like everything is like fucking $30 for like some shit that's pretty much probably AI generated, if we're gonna be real. But that's the thing too. Like Call of Duty has strained so far from creativity. They're using AI. Like, it is crazy and sad to believe that I was like an actual fanboy of the series. Like, I would be at the lunch tables being like, Call of Duty is the greatest. These games are the greatest. We need like fucking glazing these games. And then like now it's like a fucking laughing stock to me, at least, and a lot of people, especially in the older community. And I even see people my age falling for the trap of the new Call of Duties, buying the skins and doing shit. Old friends at least, but I was seeing that. I can't. I don't fuck with the new ones, man, and their bogus bullshit and leeching off of everyone. I just like the simple shit. A cool rounded, nice campaign with some actual thought and logic to it about actual war, and not fucking whatever the hell Black Ops 7 was. A good multiplayer that's grounded and not like like you're playing Doom. Like, it only works when you're playing Doom. Like, I don't want to play fast-paced crack gameplay when I'm playing Call of Duty. Like a fucking military simulator at that point. Like, I don't, it's not like Arma, but like I don't, and like a cool little mode. Like Spec Ops was cool, Zombies was cool, and now we got like whatever the fuck we got. Like, I don't know. There's still hope, but not at the same time. You gotta hope for other developers to make good games like Call of Duty once was, but fortunately, we're in the dark ages. But will the Jedi return? Is there a new hope among us? If not, I'll still play the old ones because they rip ass. I fucking love them. But that's all I gotta say. Toodles.